don't need no baggage. You just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. Don't need no ticket. You just thank the Lord. Welcome, viewing audience and listening audience, to the People Get Ready podcast with the legendary political guru, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. Give it up for the star of the show, Mr. Charles E. Bibbs. Take it away, Mr. Bibbs.
Thank you, Reverend Ben Goldstein. Goldstein must be on my mind from the luncheon yesterday, huh?
Right.
Reverend Ben Fair.
Yes, sir.
Reverend Ben Fair, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very kind with your words. Today we're going to bring you an awesome program. We're going to be all over this county showing you the things that we're doing and bringing you information from all over. And we got some awesome people coming with awesome information. We got community information. We got enterprises all over the place. Mm-hmm. And you know we're going to have some solid political information.
Yes,
we
sir.
have some candidates that will be on with us later on today. So before delay, and we have a star waiting in the wings, is Miss Vivian Louise Sharp in the house.
In the house, right on here. Here we go.
Miss
Are you
Sharp,
ready?
would you tell us about your company and what you're doing? We want to hear all about it.
All right, yes, well, sure. I want to invite everyone listening and everyone to come and join all of us on my exclusive Discover Yourself streaming radio app, 24 hours a day, worldwide and global. All you have to do to market your story is to come to the Discover Yourself app worldwide. Go to the appropriate app store on your phone, load on the Discover Yourself streaming radio app. Go to the Apple app or the Google Play. And the email address is sharpvivian82@gmail.com. sharpvivian82@gmail.com. For a number, dial 216-307-5100, and the mobile number 216-502-7589. And you may do that 24 hours a day. And thank you, Mr. Bibb. We love you.
Okay, before you leave us, I want to ask Reverend Ben Fair, would he take those numbers down for me, please? Because I think I want to hear that show. Give us those numbers again, Miss Vivian Louise Sharp.
Okay, the office number, 216-307-5100. The mobile number, 216-502-7589. And the email, sharpvivian82@gmail.com. And Sharp does not have an E on it. Thank you.
All right, now how do we get to your program?
Go to your app store on your phone or on your machine and put the words in Discover Yourself radio app. Discover Yourself, and it'll be a green emblem, and you tap it, and you'll hear the airways 24 hours. And you can come on as well.
Thank you very kindly, Miss Vivian Louise Sharp, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. On our wonderful afternoon, Miss Candace Jones.
Yes.
The floor is all yours. We had an awesome event last Saturday. We changed Cuyahoga County politics. Would you bring us up to date? What happened?
I sure will. So as Mr. Bibb said, we had the election of the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party chair Saturday at the Metro Campus, Tri-C Metro Campus. and I just want to share the results. So going into the election, there were 5 candidates: Juanita Brent, David Brock, Ernest Harris, Kent Smith, and Rob Zimmerman. So those were the 5 candidates that were running for Cuyahoga County Democratic Chair. So the way the election normally goes is it goes through a first round. If no one gets 50% plus 1, then they do a second, knock the lowest one off, and do a second round. So with the first round of voting, the results were, and Cleveland Council President Blaine Griffin was doing the overseeing. So with the first round, the results were Kent Smith was ahead, and he had 43.7% of the votes, and David Brock had 28.4% of the votes. Rob Zimmerman had 11.6%. Juanita Brent had 8.8%. Ernest Harris had 7.1%. So normally it would have been the second round. So the second round, instead of immediately going into the second round, the candidates were given an option to drop out of the race. So before the second round, Rob Zimmerman, Juanita Brent, and Ernest Harris dropped out because they had the lowest score. So the second round only consisted of Kent Smith and David Brock. So out of the second round, and those that dropped out turned their support to David Brock. So out of the second round, David Brock's support, grew, and he got 12 out of the 17 Cleveland wards. And the results of the second round, David Brock got 54.7% of the votes, and Kent Smith got 44.7% of the votes. So that means David Brock won the election for the party chair. Then the next step was to elect the vice chair. And Kent Smith had said when he was going into the election that he wanted Kim Thomas to be his vice chair if he were to be the chair. So Kim Thomas was going to be running for vice chair. Before the election of the vice chair started, Kim Thomas decided to drop out. So the only one that was left for vice chair was Juanita Brent. So the election of Juanita Brent was for the vice chair. The secretary was Andrew Mesack was elected as secretary, and Rudy Strakala was elected for the treasurer. So those are the results of the election for the Cuyahoga County Executive Board, and we're looking forward to seeing what the first rule of business will be with the new board.
Thank you. Good job, Ms. Candace Jones. Couple of questions. Our audience might not know who Ms. Thomas is. Would you share that with them?
Kim Thomas, she is the current mayor of Richmond Heights.
All right. Okay. And that was a good job. And I'm told they swore in the new chairman at the Cuyahoga Community College the same day as the election.
Yes.
So he is now the full chairman of the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party.
Right. David Brock is the new chairperson for the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party.
Okay. Do you know how to reach the chairman of the party?
I have his email address when he was before the elections. I don't have a phone number, but I have his email.
We want to bring him on the program because he was on as a contestant viewing audience when we had the candidates for chairman. He spoke to us at our forum. So we want to hear from him now that he's the chairman. And you can look forward to hearing him in the near future. Thank you very kindly. And next we have, stepping up to the plate, superstar fresh from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Reverend Fair.
Yes, sir.
For 3 days of Juneteenth, but she don't know. I'm glad she went there because we need that experience. Because next year, Miss Tammy, we're going to do Juneteenth all the way to July 4th. because when the white people celebrated July the 4th, we were not free, remember?
Yes, I remember.
We were slaves, remember?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
so
what I said.
I put together a machine. Dr. Henry Pettigrew said when he spoke last week, we should have our celebration from Juneteenth to July 4th, and we should merge it. When I speak later, I explain how we're going to do that, and you know I had to have you be the coordinator, because nobody did more events than you in this county, or probably in this state. The floor is all yours, Ms. Tammy Kennedy.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bibb. You know, I'm so glad you said that, Mr. Bibb, as far as extending the Juneteenth. I was disappointed with Cleveland. I'm just going to say, and I guess that's why I've been in Pittsburgh for the last 2 weeks, twice, because they did Juneteenth events the whole month. And as a matter of fact, June is also Black Music Month, and next week they have a whole week of Black Music Month, free concerts at Pittsburgh. So I would really like to see Cleveland up their game, spend this money.
We are going to do that. That's
Absolutely.
what I'm going to tell you about in our program.
All right.
Not we're going to do it. We started it last Saturday at the East Cleveland Public Library. Continue, Ms. Tammy.
Yes, well, you know, we started out the Greater Cleveland Distribution Collective, which is GCDC. I co-founded that last year. We supply free hygiene and sanitation supplies and PPE. Well, April. It was in April, I ran into Chris Ronayne at another event. And, you know, he was like, yeah, we got to do the Juneteenth. And I was like, oh, okay. So, you know, we started planning it. The reason we were able to do it that way is because Wade Over Wednesday starts that second week in June. So our event on June 15th, that Wednesday, was the beginning of Wade Over Wednesday, which is a 10-week, this year they're doing 10 weeks of free concerts on Wednesday at Wade Oval in University Circle. So this is why I was able to jump right in and just get, you know, some entertainers and people to come together. And so we had, first up, we had Hugh People. Hugh People is known throughout Greater Cleveland. They did one song, they were excellent. Then we had the other kid from Akron. His name is Kofi Boaki. Kofi is a Showtime at the Apollo winner in Harlem, New York. Yeah, and he calls himself the other kid from Akron, so you know who the other kid from Akron is. But he came and he just laid it out. I mean, these young people, they were awesome. And then we had to have some poetry, spoken word. So Cuyahoga County has the first African-American poet laureate, which is Honey Bell Bay. She killed it. I mean, Honey just threw it down, all the way down. As a matter of fact, she also came and gave away toys and all kinds of stuff from her table. And then we had City Council, Glenville, Ward 9, City Councilman Kevin Conwell. And Kevin had a number of Cleveland's finest musicians playing with him in the band Footprints. So they did an excellent job. Now, y'all know it was about 99 degrees outside. So a lot of people was like, oh my God, it's gonna be so hot. And it was, but it was a breeze. You know, we had shade, and so we were sitting along the trees, so we had shade. So I don't think no one was just uncomfortable. I think everybody, at least I wasn't, you know. And it was a little breeze, and what we decided to do, well, what I decided to do was to do a distribution of hygiene and sanitation supplies. So I didn't publicize it that I was gonna do a big one like I did. I just put it on my Facebook page, but we gave away $100,000 worth of hygiene and sanitation supplies at University Circle. We brought in 10 pallets of everything from toilet paper to paper towel to hand sanitizer to masks to soap, I mean, whatever. We had a bunch of stuff out there. And you know what? We got rid of most of that stuff. Except for the masks. We had some masks left over, and somebody got them. I don't know. I just left it. I couldn't. I was exhausted, but it was a great turnout. The first year, see, I started it in 2019, you know, with Wade Oval. So we did the first Juneteenth event 2019, and then we did, this one was our second. So now, you know, it's an annual thing that University Circle is going to have, the Juneteenth event, which it'll always kick off the Wade Oval Wednesday. So I guess that's that second week in June. And so next year it'll be, I think, on the 14th of June. That's that Wednesday. And, so I think it's great.
I do
East
too. I think
Cleveland.
it's excellent
Oh, yeah.
because it'll be the kickoff for the whole June 19th to July 4th,
That's
like we talked
excellent.
about before, while you were getting your experience to do this in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I was up in Pittsburgh beating the djembe drum. I mean, I just had a great time. It was just so much going on.
That's why you didn't go to Pittsburgh, Reverend. You were sent.
Okay, hey, I was sent.
Did you two reverends hear me?
You know what?
Now hold it. You didn't go.
Okay,
You were sent
all right.
so that you could bring that back. You didn't know that we were working here simultaneous with you, getting ready for next year. Miss Candace Jones has the information with you how we're going to do this starting July the 2nd of this year. We're having a summit at the Martin Luther King Library. We're going to explain all that to you. A lot of things going on while you were sent to Pittsburgh.
Okay, all
Thank
right.
you very kindly. Thank you
Quite
very kindly.
welcome,
Good
Mr.
job.
Bibb.
Excellent job. We got
Thank
way
you.
more than we thought we would get because we thought we were doing it, but somebody else was doing it bigger than you and I. Thank you.
You're
Because
welcome, Mr.
We
Bibb.
need this.
Yeah, we do.
need this because what we're getting ready to go into now with this inflation and this high gas prices, and you know what's around the corner. It's coming. No, don't fall out on it. You can't do that.
What's coming?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Now you got the information on what's been going on with Juneteenth and how we're going to merge. Did you got part of that information? And do you have that flyer in it for you for the July the 2nd? If you do it, I'm going to have to take one with her so she'll get the idea
No,
with it.
I didn't bring that with me.
Okay, we'll get, she's good on the YouTube and the email and all that, so we'll email it to you, Miss Tammy. So tell them from now to July the 2nd, and the summit's gonna be at the Martin Luther King Library from 1 o'clock to 5:30. We're gonna have a double hitter. We're gonna do a forum on the Democratic debate for state rep, have refreshments, and after that, we're gonna do how we're gonna do it for next year. And the rest of this year up until July 4th. Thank you.
And Mr. Bibb, before we go on to our next guest, which is Garfield, there may be a couple of people on the Zoom call that have something they want to say. Is there anyone on the Zoom call? I'll give you a few seconds to unmute yourself. If not, we can come back to that.
Happy birthday, Mr. Bibb. Happy birthday, Mr. Bibb.
Somebody was wishing you a happy birthday.
Identify yourself. Identify yourself.
I don't know who that was. If you can identify yourself.
James Jerome Bell. Happy
Okay.
birthday, Mr. Bibb.
Okay.
Thank you, James Jerome Bell. We will be celebrating at Chandler Park next Saturday because we're going to be, after we finish the summit, with a little ice cream and cake. And Mr. Garfield will be delighted to take care of that. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Garfield, we're switching lanes. We're going to the economic development, the more money section. The young lady that came last week when we was going up to Chandler Park, she asked me, she said, well, why are we going up to Chandler Park? I said, Garfield's going to go up. We're going to let him meet Mr. Garfield, and he's going to tell us about one thing, more money. So it's all yours, Mr. Garfield.
Yes, sir. How you doing? Thank you again, Mr. Bibb. My name is, like you said, my name is Garfield Dawes. Program that I would deal with is called Snap Delivered. I'm one of the founder for Snap Delivered, and also I've just been upgraded to also director in Snap Delivery,
Okay.
one of the second highest position. Snap Delivery is a delivery service, quite similar to DoorDash, Uber, Grubhub, and Uber Eats, but with a slight twist to that, where we added a multi-level marketing concept to that. The first company to ever do that. The way it works is basically we have everybody could sign up for absolutely free. So they could sign up for free, and every single person that they referred, they get paid. If you refer a driver, every delivery they do, you get paid. You could also refer a restaurant, and every single order come out that restaurant, you also get paid. Recently, we had just added where you could also deliver the TV space, so streaming TV service. No more cable. As we know, we are moving from cable into the streaming service, so everybody's cutting cable. So it's always going to be streaming. So you could also refer people for streaming. We have a conference that's coming up in next month on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, where we're going to show people how they definitely could get income anywhere from, I would say, 10,000, all the way up to probably about $500,000. Sound like big numbers, but what it basically is, a lot of companies, they did the PPP program when that all started. They had what's called an ERC program. And many of the company, they didn't do that because the paperwork is too complicated. So they choose to go to the easy route. Our company, one of the owner was doing that concept of the ERC program. And what the companies get, like we could do any company that had over 2 or more, up to about 500 employees, where they get $26,000 per employee back to put that business back into the recession because of the retention program that they had. So Snap is going to bring that to all the members of Snap delivered. And then when we do that, we will get a percentage of that. The company already have over 200 accountants that's already been successful doing over $2.5 billion in return to the companies that they already done. So they basically perfected their application process and getting everything out to the company as fast as possible. I'm saying, so some people may go on there, try to do it themselves. If you mess it up one time, that's it. You won't be able to get that program anymore. So that's why you have to have some professionals do that for it. The professionals, as we are not going to be the professionals, all we have to do is bring that company on board to the Snap Deliver program and introduce them, and they'll take it from there. So we could generate as much wealth as we want just doing, we have an example where somebody just did one company and his commission was $52,000 after just introducing one company to the program. So that gave us an incentive. So by using the delivery, and everything's going to come back to the delivery service because that's our main core of what we're doing. So we are helping the restaurants to stay in business, and by lowering gas price, like Mr. Bibb said, gas price is going up. I'm saying, so how do we combat that? We're able to pay the drivers more money. We're able to let the restaurant be able to make money because they will also have where they have their own referral code, and they could also share it with their customers. They could share it with their competitive, and they make money off their competitive when they place an order as well. So that give everybody in the company 60% of the revenue that we produce comes back into the community. So just imagine in the Black community, we are getting 60% of what we are spending coming back to us. That's what Snap Delivery is really all about.
One question.
Absolutely, great.
Would you go over that one more time? How do you get a company involved with this new plan from Snap Delivery?
Okay, the way we do that, basically, if you have restaurants, we could take it to the restaurant and say, hey, listen, just by being a part of Snap, we're able to offer this program to you. But other company, I'm saying we could introduce them to Snap. You'll have a referral link from Snap, of course. And then when you refer them, Snap will actually take over from that space. So you basically just introducing, just put the two together. Say, okay, I have Mr. Bibb Enterprise. I'm gonna introduce you to SNAP, and we don't do 1099, so they have to do what's called the W-2. As long as they are W-2 employees, 2 or more, and it's from 2 up to about 500, I believe. So a company with 500 probably would get about $13 million, and then you'll get a percentage of that.
Just a regular restaurant.
Any
more
business, it's any
employees.
business whatsoever that during the COVID, back in 2019, I think COVID started, up to now, it's gonna end probably about 25. So they do have some time for you for them to come on before it ended. So we have a little bit of time that we
You
could work
just
with.
use the word any business. Break that down again.
Any business that have employee back in like 2019 up to December 2021, right? And it's a retention program, so they was able to retain those employee during the COVID. So that's why they are the government, the IRS is giving them that funds for that. Even if they already got the PPP program, they still qualify for that as well.
Thank you, Mr. Garfield.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna be working on that next Saturday also.
Absolutely.
Put the date down on July the 2nd in the evening from 7 to 9. I'll have to make doubly sure that the conference room is available. We celebrate the birthday and do all that quick, because that's not gonna last too much longer, I can tell you that.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Government program, revenue fair, they have money, they run out quick. All right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, and it's my time up. All right. Very good. I shared with the audience a little earlier how we would be merging Juneteenth into July 4th for the first time.
Yes.
This event will take place on Saturday, July the 2nd, at the Martin Luther King Library in University Circle. There we will have a Democratic forum at 1 o'clock. The doors are open, and at 1:30 the forum will start. The forum will be between Terrence Upchurch and Mike Seals, and that will be 1 hour. Following that forum, which will have an audience participation, they'll ask questions, and there'll be a panel of professionals who will ask questions also. There'll be refreshments, and after refreshments, we're going to go into the merger of the Juneteenth that we started last week with Tammy down at Wade Oval,
Yes.
right into July 4th. This is going to be awesome. I'm asking all my community activists and everybody to join us at Martin Luther King Library next Saturday. We'll be there from 1 o'clock to 5:30. That's why we're serving refreshments in between events. We call that our double hitter of the summer.
All right.
First part will be a forum, a Democratic forum for candidates running for state rep with other refreshments. And then we will do the Juneteenth planning for next year, and also the Juneteenth for this year, merging with July 4th, which will go on from now on. And all minds clear on that?
Yes, sir, Mr.
All
Bibb.
right, very good, very good. And I'm so happy that Miss Tammy Kennedy went to Pittsburgh for 3 days. And like I said earlier, Miss Sharon Pittman, we didn't know that she was going over to learn how to do this. And I told her she thought she was going to Pittsburgh, but she was sent to Pittsburgh. Because sometimes the light had to come in another window.
Yes, it
didn't come in
does.
here from City Hall, Cleveland. It had to come here from our podcast, Charles E. Bibb Sr.,
All right.
our Bibb Record Shop podcast. People, get ready.
Yes.
And people, get ready
All
for the
right.
big merge.
Yes.
The big merge. So we will work on that. But Cleveland never had anything like this, Rev. So get
Yes,
ready.
sir.
All right. Next on our program is Is Mr. James Jerome Bell in the house? Mr. James Jerome Bell. Miss Sharon Penman
Yes, sir.
and Reverend Ben Fair.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bibb.
Tell me what you know about House Bill 40 preparation.
Well, I can say that what I know is that it was introduced January 4th of 2021, sponsored by State Representative Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas. And it's a bill to study, a commission to study the development and of reparation proposals for African Americans Act. The bill establishes the commission to study and develop the reparation proposals. It is, let's see here, reading from this information. It is a commission to examine slavery and discrimination in the colonies and the United States from 1619 to present and recommend appropriate remedies. The commission shall identify 1, the role of the federal and state governments in supporting the institution of slavery, and 2, forms of discrimination in the public and private sector against freed slaves and their descendants, and 3, lingering negative effects of slavery on living African Americans and society. So, as I said, this was started back in January of 2021, and California so far is the only state to make a motion or to do the study. So, what I know, and it's what you asked also, is that we need to get busy.
All right. So when you say California, so our listening audience always have to look out for them. California's General Assembly
Yes,
has made a motion to move it,
yes.
an action to move it. Okay. Reverend Fair, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, I just want to add that we should be working on the reparations for our people. Mr. Bibbs, here in the state of Ohio, we need to get a coalition together and reach out to our elected officials so that they can begin to do the same thing they're doing down in Texas. So it's about reparation for our people, and it's time. So that's what I had to add to that, Mr. Bibb.
Reverend Fair, I think that's an excellent idea.
Yes.
And Ms. Candace Jones, we will add that to the agenda for next Saturday on the 2nd.
Yes,
So be prepared to speak to the audience about working on that.
yes.
And we will have a state rep presently, Terrence Upchurch, and he'll be in the house, so we'll.
Yeah, we need to know what are their plans. What are their plans for reparations in Ohio?
They don't
Yes.
have any plan. That's why we have to.
Right. And that's what I meant by we need to
We have
get
to start the
busy.
plan. We have to start them with the plan. They don't have a plan.
Right.
I was listening when Ms. Sharon Penman said one state General Assembly have moved forward, and that General Assembly in California.
Right.
Our General Assembly have not moved forward
Correct.
on the House Bill 40, which Congresswoman Sheila Lee Jackson is the sponsor in the House in Washington, D.C. So we want to let them know, and that's what our committee will, that we want to move on this. All right. Did Mr. James Jerome Bell join us?
He's on the Zoom call line, but he's muted, so I'm not sure if he's having difficulty or not.
Okay. I'm trying to locate Mr. Lynn Hampton.
Lynn Hampton's on the call.
Mr. Dan Hampton,
Yes, sir.
how are you today?
All right, not too bad. Just ripping and running, doing both of them, ripping and running.
Very good. You're the first African American leader that's been invited to the summit next week. You got
Was
it
it?
straight off the podcast. At the Martin Luther King Library next Saturday. You heard us speak about it earlier, right?
Yes, I heard.
Well, we're
Absolutely.
getting ready to go somewhere, and you know you got to be with us. Thank you.
Okay.
In fact, we'll be speaking about it when we join you this Saturday, and you can share with our listening audience and our viewing audience what we can expect this weekend. Thank you.
All right. Well, we're gonna be down at in our Moja Freedom Day festival at Vornovich Park, right behind the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where you get on the Good Time 3. That's a culminating event of four other events that we put on the Carter G. Woodson Project put on throughout the month of June. You see, around 8 to 10 years ago, we claimed June as our month of Sankofa, which we put on programs of empowerment and enlightenment throughout the month of June, not just Juneteenth. So we put on programs that deals with we bring a speaker in town, a lecturer, health and wellness. We did African Ball. We did Sankofa Fridays. We did several things, including Juneteenth program. So this time we usually have the parade and festival on the first Saturday in June. This is the first year we pushed it to the end of the month, the last Saturday. So, I did that to say, hey, let's get the work done first, and then let's celebrate after we do the work. So we had a health and wellness. We had a prayer workshop. We had one of our top Black scholars, Professor Small, come and speak at Tri-C. And we had something down at Ridall as well. So, this is the culminating event. So we ushering and pushing everybody down here to join us with this Juneteenth festival at the lovely Vornovich Park, right on the water. So we can't let the commercialization take us. This is a grassroots organization and dealing with Juneteenth. So we need to come out and support it. And it's something we've been doing for quite a while now.
Okay. And I was listening to Art McCoy on Sunday, and I liked the way you told the people in Greater Cleveland who don't know Greater Cleveland well how to get there. You told them straight down East 9th, and if you get in the lake, you went too far.
You went too far. Yeah. You went.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Now, before you leave me, tell us a little bit about the group you've been meeting with about bringing some things together for unification of the African American community.
Well, we've been working with, like I said, the Carter G. Woodson program is one of the organizations I work with. Also president of the African American Law Enforcement Association. Some things we've been doing in the community is helping bring with our senior citizens that's been sick and shut in. I orchestrated the Cleveland Police Department to actually go out and deliver meals and also do assessments for our senior citizens that are sick and shut in due to the pandemic and other ailments and things like that. So we've been working with that, working with Art McCoy as well, and making some things happen. And I just want to say, Brother Bibb, you talk about issues, we got issues, and we got conscientious issues that we in this community, we have to deal with. But you talk about the reparations, and that's good. But we got to start putting on more pressure on these money people, because we got some serious issues with our juveniles and the crime in the city. So, but we're always having issues getting money in order to put on good programs that we think that might divert some of that juvenile delinquency. So let's put some pressure on these banks and say, I got to hustle to make this happen. That's why I'm tired today, hustling, trying to raise money to put on something positive for our people, where they could come down and listen to some representatives from the Tuskegee Airmen, the Ohio Black Soldiers, the Negro Baseball League. So we know that's positive imagery and self self-esteem. But these banks have our deposits, and they got these community outreach funds. So we need to start marching on them so we can get programs to teach our children these trades and things like that to keep them off the street and give them an education. So this is something that we need to do and working into next year and collaborate all of us. And not, if University Hospital wants to put on the June program, you reach out to those particular group leaders and fund them to help them be upfront in putting those Juneteenth programs. We can't let nobody come in and step in front of us and commercialize that and benefit. And the only reason they do that because we're not culturally sound and together.
Well, we're a little late on the commercial, Brother Nan Hampton. They got special ice cream, special salads, and everything. We're late on that. But let me tell you what country we're in. We're in a country called the United States of America. The only pressure we got here to vote, and I'll give you an example how the vote works in America. We got tired of them tickets in the city of Cleveland. You know them tickets when you go to a traffic light? You could pick it from now on, and that wouldn't change City Hall. But when they went out and put the politics in it, how did they put the politics in it, Reverend? They went out and got signatures to put it on the ballot and made them take them lights down. Now, in East Cleveland, we 98% African American. The mayor and the council president wouldn't take orders from the citizens. We put the pressure on them. You know how we put the pressure on them? We went out and got signatures and had an election and recalled them. In America, you got to vote. When you don't like it, you vote them out. Because we ain't got no money to do nothing else. So we're going to vote them out. So that's the kind of thing we're going to be talking about on July the 2nd. How we use the pressure that we have. And all the big government, listen to me closely now, they operate off the government money. You know that, right? Cleveland Clinic, the biggest one who operate off the government money, have created them a own city inside of the city of Cleveland. They got so big now, Reverend, they have their own zip code. They got so big they tore down everything me and Lynn Hampton used to go to on 105 in Euclid, and now that's Cleveland Clinic. You understand? They got so big and they call themselves non-profit. Am I right, Brother Hampton?
Yeah, you're right.
Are they non-profit?
Yep.
They use government money. They get more money come through the congressional 11th district than anybody in the 11th congressional district. So you have to have elected officials who will listen to the community and take them out of office.
Yeah, well, I guess I got to add one quick thing to that, Bibb, before I go. Is that we got that 1.45 trillion dollars too. If we have some sense with that, we can do a whole lot with that too. We just don't have to spend it everywhere either. So that's some power we got too.
Now you know when you said that, I had to say something. Do you know how much money was given to the city of Cleveland from the Biden administration that they don't have to pay back?
How much, Bill?
$551 million. They don't have to pay back. And in Cleveland, Ohio, we have an African-American mayor and an African-American council president. And you know how they got those jobs? They got elected. All right, we'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, brother. All right, then. Have a good one.
Thank you, Liz.
All right.
We're going to have a ball down there on 9th, and I hope I don't go too far down East 9th.
No, don't go too far. Don't go too far, Bill. All right, later.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm glad we got a politician coming up next. Is Mike Shields in the house?
I am, Mr. Bibb.
Did you hear what I just said about it? Don't do what we want done. At the ballot, we'll take them out of office. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you live in the city of Cleveland, they wouldn't do right with them traffic lights. They've been and voted them out, didn't they?
Exactly. And I'll say this. I'll say amen, which means that we are in agreement. I am with 100% with you on that issue,
All
which is
right,
one of the
without
reasons.
further delay, the floor is all yours. Mike Seals, running as a
Thank
state
you.
rep, and he's now the president of the Ward 7 Cleveland Club and the deputy ward leader. And give me that district you're running in, Mike, so everybody knows.
I'm running in Ohio, House District 20.
All
Um,
right, floor is all
and
yours.
and Mr. Bibb, you hit on some profound points, which is one of the reasons why I'm running. I'm Mike Seals. Like you stated, I'm president of the Ward 7 Democratic Ward Club. I also served as the deputy ward leader in Cleveland Ward 7. I'm also an elected precinct committee person, and I'm an elected executive precinct committee person. And I must tell you that all of these positions that I just named are not paid positions. They're positions for someone who has a genuine concern for his or her community. I have a background in organized labor. I worked with SEIU, the Service Employees International Union, 1199 for a number of years. I worked as a community organizer, a administrative organizer, a field organizer, and the political field coordinator. And just to one of the reasons, well, the main reason is why I'm running, because I'm a firm believer the only way to make real change is to have the right people in place. And the right people has never been those who profit off the hurt of the people. I'm grateful for my background in organized labor, because it afforded me the opportunity to work as a political field coordinator. And I worked on the front lines of such campaigns as Senate Bill 5, where they were trying to take away the rights of public workers to bargain. I worked on the front lines of Fight for a Fair Economy, which, like you stated, we went up against what we call poor corporate citizens, which are large corporations like First Energy, Verizon, GE, your large hospitals like Cleveland Clinic, Mercy Hospital, which are your conglomerate hospitals in the state of Ohio, who don't pay their fair share of taxes. I'm a firm believer that it's totally unfair for you, Mr. Bibb, to pay more taxes than Cleveland Clinic. Something wrong with that picture. I'm a firm believer that the only way to make real change is through policy. And as a political field coordinator, I've worked on campaigns from here to Florida with the union, and I can't tell you how many times we've seen good people go into office with good intentions, but once they get to the city halls and the state houses, the corporate forces, they are so powerful that if they are not strong and stand for the people, these corporate forces can quickly become a corruptive influence on our people, who we elected to serve us. And when that happens, Reverend, to put it in biblical terminology, we the people, we become like sheep with no good shepherd, and every corporate wolf starts to feed off of us. So that's one of the reasons that I'm running for a state representative, because I understand that as a experienced bargaining person, bargaining union contracts, I understand that policy and contracts and laws supersedes our personal feelings. So if we're not putting laws and policies in place, then we'll never get to the next level. To add to that, Mr. Bibb, and to your listeners, I won't make any campaign promises that I may or may not be able to keep, but what I will say is this: when I get to Columbus, my district will have a representative who will fight like hell for the betterment of his district.
Thank you, Mr. Seals. And can you share with us quickly about your event that you're having on Sunday?
Yes, I'm having a kickoff Sunday, a meet and greet. Um, it's going to be at 3422 East 55th Street. That's between Cedar and Central. It's called the Jazz and Event Center. It'll be held 4 to 6 p.m. It's a free event. Come out and I'd like to meet all of the constituents if I can in the 20th Ohio House District. And I'm excited. Hey, and I'm ready. You know, I think my preparation for this position has already prepared me for the job, and I'm ready to work. I'm ready to work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing all that information. And Mr. Bibb, we have our next guest on the line, Mr. James Panagas.
Mr. Panicus, are you in the house?
Yes, I am. How are you doing, Mr. Bibb?
Well, I heard some news from Detroit today. I understand you broke the heat record today.
Oh man, the last 2 days it's been hot. It's been hotter than you wouldn't even believe out here. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's
All
smoking.
right. Well, give us some hot news about Go Love Life. You got about
Well,
5 minutes. It's all yours.
I'll tell you this. Go Love Life is hotter than the weather right now. We have something that is taking the world by storm. I didn't say your neighborhood. I didn't say your state. I didn't say the United States. I said the world. It is something that is so hot. It's changing people's lives, both physically and financially around the world. And what the big buzz is, it's something called microbiomes. And what microbiomes basically is something that is dealing with gut health. And what we're doing is we're showing people that your second brain, which is your gut, is the most important thing that is going on in your life right now. I mean, a lot of people have heard the thing talking about trust your gut intuition, follow your gut because your gut is your second brain in your life. Well, what researchers have found is this that if your gut is unhealthy, it leads to sickness and disease because your microbiomes, and look up the word microbiome, that is, in layman's terms, all the things that are going on in your gut and your intestine, all the good bacteria, all the bad bacteria, and all the things that it breaks down to help the absorption, to help your body be in good condition, but it also is all the bad things that you're putting in your body that creates all the tears and cracks in your stomach that creates the poisons and the toxins that infects your body and creates your body to help produce poisons every month after month after month and makes your body keep producing all those poisons. And that's the problem. Well, our company, Go Love Life, has created some products that is powered by an $8 billion industry called Noni, and we help repair your gut through the microbiome system, and we are going to create a brand new industry called the microbiome community. Now, the microbiome industry is brand new. Now, this microbiome industry is so powerful that we are the only ones. We have no competition out here. We are the only industry out here. We are the only dedicated company. But I want you to understand something. When you have products that are powered by Noni, that already created an $8 billion industry, we are going to be over $100 billion within the next 5 years. And you are just hearing about it. And guess what? Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. is one of the most powerful expansion leaders right now in the Cleveland area. And we have partnered up. These gentlemen that created this company are the ones that brought that $8 billion industry. They have partnered up with Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr., and they're looking for 25 people in the Cleveland area that are looking to help get the microbiome industry on its feet and help make this $100 billion industry. And he's looking for 25 leaders that are willing to change their family's life. Now, we have something big happening. We have something big happening at 7 p.m. tonight. We have something big happening at Saturday at 3 p.m. And all you have to do is click a link to find the information. So if I was you, but I'm not, but if I was you, I would get with Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. He will give you that information. And then you could actually travel with him down to Atlanta, Georgia on July 9th to meet a $60 million African American gentleman who has helped over 60 people make $1 million in this industry, and he's willing to share his secrets with you. And then we're all traveling to Las Vegas in September to help Go Love Life create the biggest launch in this industry's history, September 7th through the 10th in Las Vegas. And there are ways that you can get your flights and your rooms paid for, dinner on the company, Las Vegas shows, an experience of a lifetime. So, Mr. Bibb, I'm telling you, we are going to have a lot of fun. We're looking for some individuals. I'm going to be coming to Cleveland soon, and I'll see everybody at the top.
So James Panic out of that red hot Detroit, Michigan. We're going to make Go Love Life just as hot as the temperature is in Detroit and Cleveland. And I'm going to start looking for my 25 people tonight, because I'm going to roll right with James at the same time in Cleveland as you are in Detroit. And I look forward to talking with you next week, and take good care of yourself and your family. Tell everyone I said hello.
I definitely
Thank
will,
you.
and I'll see you at the top, Mr. Bibb.
All right. Now, you know, when someone speaks something to me, I pick it up if I think it should be moved on. And I think Miss Tammy Kennedy's moved on something that's dear to my heart already. It's called African American Music Month. And I have picked me 3 stars to start an African Music Month presentation next week, Miss Candace. Miss Sharon Pittman,
Yes.
you're going to take care of part of the music for next month.
All right.
And Reverend Ben Fair,
Yes, sir.
you know you got to take care of the gospel music for next I said month, but next week for our podcast.
Okay.
And Miss Vivian Louise Sharp, you take care of the rest of the music to make sure we do a good job, because Miss Sharp and I had already been talking about African American Music Month. It used to be Black Music Month under Jimmy Carter, and when President Obama came in, he changed it to African American Music Month. And with my Bibb record shop background, you know I can't let June get out of here without celebrating African American Music Month.
Yes, sir.
So Miss Candace Jones, that will be a big one for next week, African American Music Month.
Absolutely.
And we want to give our audience something big.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I just have one comment I want to make
Yes, go
before
ahead,
our
Ms.
last
Janet
2
Jones.
minutes is I want to wish you a happy birthday, Mr. Bibb. I know your birthday is not until next Tuesday, the 28th, but I think you're deserving of a whole week of celebration, a whole month of celebration for your
right, like the
birthday.
good ones.
So I just wanted to say happy birthday to you, and hope you enjoy celebrating.
All right.
sir,
Thank,
yes.
thank you,
Happy
Miss
birthday to you.
That's-
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Bibbs.
Thank you. Now that was
Yes, sir.
spontaneous. I love that. Now, Reverend, I know I picked the right committee for June month. They're supposed to start next week, and they started this week.
Okay.
So you can't get no blacker than me. The Black Music Month kicked off today. So thank you, audience, for participating with us. And I want you to listen to the things that we bring to you, because we bring you a wealth of information, and we try to keep you on top of what's going on in the United States of America, so that we can continue to grow and close that wealth gap. That's what we're all
Absolutely.
about. We got to close that wealth gap. We're so far behind. I seen a figure, African American families are worth $24,000, and European American families are worth $184,000. Now you know we got to close that gap.
Yes.
All right, and we'll see y'all next week, and we'll see everybody on June 2nd for that big summit emerging
July 2nd.
next week, July 2nd at Martin Luther King Jr. Library and University Circle.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Thank everybody, and
Thank you.
see you next week.
See you